When reviewing an anime series, it's very easy to write when a series clearly messes something up, or greatly excels in a specific thing. But then there are those series that aren't looking to push any boats out, not trying anything new besides attaching a gimmick to a tried out formula and just printing money. Usually this leads to the analysis that, yep, they sure were an anime, not bad, but not overly impressive, strictly just fine. Which sure does make reviewing them in an interesting way a bit more difficult. But I'll try my best, as I did a short review last week, so I should put out something more substantial or at least match my usual length. First up is 2021's How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, a little ditty about Soma, who gets summoned to a fantasy land, where he's supposed to act as a struggling nation's payment to the Empire, who's holding back the big scary demon nation from wrecking the continent. But Soma was studying to become a civil servant, so he's able to convince the king to allow him to go over the nation's finances, and attempt to try and allocate the funding for an actual payment so he isn't sent to the Empire. But he's able to balance the finances so well, the king decides to abdicate the throne to him. Now someone must use his modern-day knowledge of civil strategies to turn the struggling nation into a powerhouse. Initial thoughts on the premise are good. Isekais are a well-worn genre, and we have seen heroes master the arts of magic and swordplay to save the day numerous times. But a shift to a more behind-the-scenes role with an emphasis on facing the country instead of saving the world could do this series some good. As for its main, Soma, he could be a bit more interesting. He hardly struggles, and while not made for the battlefield, he is well suited to commanding it. He has a decent little arc about finding his own found family, now that the ones from his world are dead, as well as having a few struggles with doubt when he has to make tough decisions that will cost people's lives. But overall, he's fine. Could be a bit better, but could be a lot worse. But to go back to that found family, what I really mean is finding a harem, as the series will bend backwards to remind you that polygamy is super cool and common here, so don't question it. We're totally not just doing this for fan service. Of the three that we've seen so far, Licia, the former princess and daughter of the former king, gets the most development. Mainly because she's supposed to be the main squeeze and is there from the start. The other two feel more tacked on. Aisha, the Dark Elf, is mainly there for just a few solo attempts of fan service. As for Juno, she only gets added in the last episode, but has the whole idol thing going on. But they aren't super bare bone, even if they only get one core episode to develop their bond with Soma. But again, nothing really to write home about. The villains, however, could use some work. Two of the three hardly count in my eye, as they are just acting as antagonists for their own goals to help the country. As for the last one, he's basically just, I'm a dick leader, to create that comparison to Soma, who's a good leader. The civil lessons are fine, nothing too interesting, but makes sense. Roads are good for distributing goods and helps lower prices for said goods. Maybe those who care about civil strategies may get more out of it than I, but the series is fine. I tried to summon some emotion other than apathy either way, but nothing came out of it. Throw in the fact that it's only the start of a series that will probably not get renewed. My final consensus will be that the series is on the low side of fine. If you can't get enough of fantasy isekais, or one of the girls match your fancy, then give it a watch. But when compared to the other 19 series I've reviewed so far, it's coming out on the lower end. Be that either because I've seen more good series at the moment, or the first half of the year has been pretty good for anime. But moving on, our second series will be 2019's The Helpful Fox Senkosan, a story about Kurito, a overworked office worker, who the fox deities decide needs to be saved from his despair. Thus they send Senko, a 800-year-old fox spirit who has been a guardian spirit for Kurato's family. To do this job, she will act like a housewife, cooking meals, cleaning the house, and anything you would associate with a doting housewife. That does leave me in the middle of a possible discourse, as yes, Senko looks like a kid, and that fact is mentioned in the show, might I remind you, which is bad. But you can't counter that with the, well, she's a different species and has the mental capabilities of an adult, so that makes it a completely different situation. Personally, I know there's a uncomfortable amount of art out there that's probably done all sorts of horrible things to this poor fox girl. I know pointing that out won't slow down the internet and anime fans, but I'm gonna mention it anyway, as giving my opinion and calling out what I feel is a bit of a questionable part is the best I can do, as I doubt me mentioning it will change it. But hey, maybe I can help inspire a change, so might as well play the hand I got. But what about the series? Well, the series' goal is to create a relaxing atmosphere with some wholesome comedy thrown in, targeting the overworked office workers of Japan, trying to remind you that, hey, you should take care of yourself and relax. That's probably why they threw in the ending first-person scenes where Senko takes care of the viewer. But overall, I'll say that they achieved their goal of creating a relaxing atmosphere. The duo has some alright chemistry, and the show keeps focus on the duo. with only 3 side characters to add to the mix. But if you're looking for something relaxing to veg out to, or to throw on the other screen, then hey, you're in luck. It's fine, I have my hang up with the whole looking like a kid thing, but I don't think some side eyes on my part are enough to dock the series points without seeing more evidence. Evidence which I frankly don't want to see. So it's a resounding fine, I guess.